Hello, my friends. Well, here's an iris pour that you didn't see for a couple of reasons. Number one, it started selling up like crazy as I was blowing it out, and I didn't like that at all. And secondly, I don't care for the composition. It's just a bit too symmetrical. But I do like the colors, and so I thought I would try to save it, and I thought it might be interesting to do a video on it and see how that goes. Then I thought, if it works, what I have in mind, then maybe I will dress it up with a few water drops, dewdrops, and then maybe even add some green to it in the background to kind of take away from the focus on the symmetry. Okay, so that's my plan, and let's get to it. I'm just going to, I don't even remember what color I used, but it looks like I may have used crimson. It's certainly in the family there. I'm going to just squeeze some of that onto my palette. Maybe. There we go, don't need much. I'm just going to kind of put a wash over these white cells and see how I like that. Let's just start right here. Yes, and I do like that. So I think that works fine. I'm pleased to see that. Now I could add another color to it. Maybe if I add a second coat paint, I might change a color, but actually this is pretty good. I may not. So that's all I'm going to do. And then I have to decide. I don't mind all of it. I don't like it in the red section, so I think for the most part I will paint over that. So let's see. Kind of go up in this area here. Okay, I'm just kind of doing a X motion. It's called slip slap motion to kind of hide the brush strokes. Okay. Probably don't need to watch me do this, but let's see how this works where it's very light down here and see how that comes out. I do have it watered down a bit. I don't want it real thick. It's more of just a wash of color. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Yeah, I don't think you need to watch me do this, so let me pause and go ahead and give the whole thing a covering here. And then we'll come back and add some water drops. Okay, well, I've returned. I have put at least 3 coats, maybe 4 even in some areas, to get this, and I'm very happy with it now compared to what it was. I did leave a sprinkling of cells here and there just because I'm not totally opposed to them, and there are some cells in the lighter area, and that kind of helps tie it together. And you can still see them. You can still see the shapes of them, but they're not that in-your-face white cells. So I'm much happier with it now. So I thought it would be fun to maybe paint some dewdrops on it here and there. And I bought this set of Water Mixable Oils. They were on clearance at Michael's a while back, and I have not yet tried them, so I thought I'd try them with you for the first time and see how I like them. So we'll have to do some mixing to get the colors we want, but it comes in yellow ochre, viridian hue, French ultramarine, alizarin crimson, cad yellow, titanium white. There's no black in here. This is a very basic set. They make a lot of colors, but this is your basic set. So yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to squirt out some alizarin crimson. I've never tried water soluble oils, but they're very appealing. You know, the thin them with water. The mixing is, the cleanup is water. So that's, I like the sounds of that. I'm going to put out some, all the primaries. Blue, red, and yellow. And I'll put up some white too. I will need white for sure. Okay, now when you work with oils, or even these, you should have paintbrushes devoted just to them. Never mix your oil and acrylic paintbrushes. And I also have standing by some regular oil paints. If I don't care for these, I'm going to switch to those. But I'm really anxious to give these a try. So I have some brushes that are fairly unused, and that's what I'm going to use. So I did a whole video on water drops, and I will try to remember to link that up above if you'd like to watch. So I'm not going to go into great amount of detail here. You can watch that video. The same applies whether you're painting in oil or acrylics. The video I did was acrylics, so this is only for people who might be interested in trying oils sometime. So first I'm going to take some of this white and I'm going to thin it down with water. Let's see how that works. And I forgot a liner brush. I have to have a liner. Thought I had everything I needed, but not that. Let's see. Okay. It just feels so weird dipping in water for oils, but okay. Let's see how this thins out with water. I want to get a very inky consistency. I hope you can see my palette. Yes, you can. Sorry, this isn't going to be the best quality video I've ever put together, but I think it should be interesting. All right, so I've dressed up my brush, my liner brush, with some inky white paint. And I'm going to just draw in the shape of the dewdrop. And now where do I want them? I'll put one right here. I'm just going to make them round. That's the easiest ones to do. So you'll just draw a circle. It's just a guideline for you. It's going to go away. All right. And oh, it feels so weird to dip my paintbrush into water. All right, now I'm going to take a clean brush, a little flat brush. This happens to be a size 8. And, well, first I'm going to mix some paint. And you want to shade the bottom of your drop with a darker color. Oh my gosh, I had white paint on there. With a darker color than what your dewdrop is resting on. So this is that crimson. I want to mix a, well, this is alizarin, right? Well, this is crimson alizarin hue, it says. And it actually is a little darker, but so let's just try that. Wipe your palette knife off before you... I guess I need to dress my brush in water. So I have, and I'm just side loading into the crimson, and by that I mean I'm just putting paint on one side, one half of the brush. There's a drop of water there. And I'm going to shade underneath the drop. Now, we'll say the light source is coming from up here, so I'm going to put the shadow on the bottom. Let's see if this is dark enough. Not really. It's almost the same color. So I need to do some mixing. So I'll take a little bit of that ultramarine and mix it in with the crimson I put aside. And that's way too blue. I'll take some crimson. You don't need much paint at all. And a little bit of what I just mixed there and add it to the crimson. And now I have a darker shade. That's dark. Darker than my background, so that's good. Let's try that. Loading half my brush. And now I'm going to shade just on the bottom half of the dewdrop, water drop. Still not very dark. I'm going to kind of just brush mix more of that blue, get a really dark violet color. There we go. I'm going right over my white guideline there. Okay, so I have made a shadow under my dewdrop. All right, I'm going to reserve that brush, and I'm going to get a clean brush for the top because I want to add white to that. So, wet the brush. I'm going to go into this white that I have kind of thinned out already with water. Again, just side loading the brush, and I'm going to shade, well, not shade, I'm going to apply white to the top, half, third, kind of walk it down. Excuse me, that's completely wrong. I just messed up completely. Oh my word. I wonder if I can wipe that off. Start over. Man, I would delete that whole thing if I could, but oh, now I can't. All right, let's go into the white again. A thin down white. Draw in my shape. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. The white part goes on the bottom of the dewdrop. Okay. I may have lost some people with that. All right, back to the shading. Shading beneath the drop, opposite your light source. Just about halfway up on both sides. I have a terrible glare here. It's hard for me to see what I'm doing. right, now I want to take another clean brush, and I'm just going to kind of soften those edges there. It's a clean, dry brush, and I'm just kind of pat blending. Softening the edges. Okay. Now, where is my white brush? This is the one I'm using the white on. Okay, I'm going to go apply it correctly this time. All right, this time I'm going to put it where it belongs, on the bottom half, right on the inside of the drop. I haven't painted in a long time, this kind of painting. I miss it though. Okay, and I'm just kind of walking it up towards the center. And now, and I could have done this before, I should have. Going back to the shadow color, I'm going to shade in opposite the shadow, but on the inside of the, I want to start to say bubble, but it's a dewdrop. And I'm getting rid of that guideline there. This needs to be dark enough that you'll be able to see what we call the life light when we add it, but it should be a little lighter than the shadow underneath. So I'm blending it a little better. All right, now I'll take that dry brush again and kind of pat blend the edges of those two colors I added. And now the fun thing, you just take your liner brush and you go in straight into your white, and you add your life light. Boom. Don't get crazy with it. You can add, you know, another little dribble if you want, but don't add a bunch of them. Over here you can have a little bit of a reflected dribble on there, but not too much. You know what? I'll do another one and I'll bring you in closer. I don't know that you can even see what I did there. Let me look. No, of course you can't see that at all. Let me zoom in. Well, now, oh, for Pete's sake. Here we go. Let me show it to you. That's what I was doing. Okay, so it kind of looks like a drop. It's supposed to anyway. Let's do another one. Let me figure out how to get you in there a little closer. I think I can do something with my stand thing. There we go. Okay. There. Now I'll paint one in this section, maybe right here where you can actually see what I'm doing. Well, I like the water solubles so far. I mean, they're easy to work with. And the beauty of them is that they don't dry like acrylics do. They don't dry so quickly. They will dry in about 5 or 6 days, it says on the package. The only thing is when it's dry and you want to varnish it, you'll have to find a varnish that works for both acrylics and oils. Winsor Newton makes a spray varnish that I generally use when I combine the two. All right, how about one over here? I'll make this one a little, maybe a little bigger. It's not much bigger, but okay. So going into the dark. Now you can't see my palette. Going into the dark mixture I made with blue and crimson. I will shade underneath. And this is darker over here than here, so I really need to go dark with that shadow so it's seen. And while I'm at it, I will shade the inside of the bubble, dewdrop. I'm still shaking my head at myself for that mistake I made the first go around. Okay, to my dry brush, I think it was this one, and soften the edges. And my light brush, where is that? How could I have lost? Oh, here it is. I haven't left my chair and I lost something. Okay, I'm going into the white. It's got a little water on there because I just want a kind of a wash of color. Actually, I'll be dress both sides of the brush because I'm going to be going this way. Now, take your time. Kind of reshape it if necessary, and kind of is here. It's not very round. That's a little better. Take the dry brush and kind of pat blend that, get rid of any hard edges. And it's nice if you leave a little bit clear in the center because of what's underneath. It'll help it look more transparent that way. And now your oh my gosh, I'm losing brushes and I haven't even stood up. Liner brush into the straight white. And just a touch of your life light, just boom, brings it to life. I do like to dribble a little more down there and add a little reflection on the other side. Between the two of them, the other one is actually better than this one, but you could certainly see it better. Soften that shadow a little bit. There's a real glare. It's a little difficult for me to work from this angle. And if I wasn't doing a video, I would have this tilted up, a more comfortable angle. You should always make it comfortable for yourself. There, that's better, I think. You know what, I think maybe I'm done. I'll probably add a few more, and then I'll come back and put a PS and talk about it. I don't know that I want to add any greenery to it. I think fixing those lower petals was enough to make me happy with it. Let me bring you up so you can see the whole thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so inept at technology. Let's see if I do that. Oh, that was pretty impressive. There we go. Oh, I know, there was one more thing I wanted to do. I want to differentiate between those two petals, the upper petals, so let me do one more thing. I want to do a little bit of shading here so they look more like two separate petals. So that's why I put that gold out. Let me mix some, can you see the palette? Yes. So I'll take some of that yellow ochre and a bit of the red, very little bit. Try to come up with some orange. That's too dark, so more yellow ochre. That's a pretty color, but it's really not the one I want. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, actually that might work. All right, now I might as well use the brush that I did the shading with, because it's in the same family. Oh, let's see how this, I'll just clean my paintbrush in water. Let's see how well it cleans up. Look at that. It stained the brush, but it's pretty clean. It's amazing. Okay. So I'm just going to, again, side load my brush into that mix I just made. And then I'm going to decide where I want to separate the petals. I'm just going to follow the lines of the pour. Maybe use that. So here we go. So far, I don't like it. I don't want just a stripe of color. I want I'm going to kind of blend it in and vary the width of it. Well, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Maybe trying a brand new, you know, it's not bad. Trying a brand new paint on video for the first time is a little nerve-wracking. Not such a great idea. But I'm pretty pretty excited about these paints. I'm going to walk it out here, and I just don't want a line, so I'm going to soften it out. Okay. I think that's okay, actually. Okay, my friends. Well, I'm going to turn off the camera, maybe add a few more drops, and I'll return and show you the final product. Thank you. Okay, well, all I did was add one more tiny little drop right there, and I think I'm done. I'm quite happy with it. I think I was able to rescue it. Certainly an improvement over how it started, in my opinion. And I'm happy about these water-soluble oils, water mixables. I'm excited to do some more embellishing with them because they're very easy to work with. I was able to go back and soften out some of the shading just by wetting my clean brush. And so they do act like oils where they're open far longer than acrylics. And by that I mean workable. And it's all good. So I'll stop chatting. I'm not making a lot of sense. I do thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.